Got another habitat day here on my property. A small parcel that I have. I wanted to create a screen so that I could get into my stands that are on the north side of the property more easily without being spotted. With some things that have occurred around my property with the neighbors, in the last couple years we've had some new neighbors purchase the land, people that have owned the land for a long time, either moved away or passed on, and so we've got new neighbors, and I can't do like I used to and use their property as much to access my stand. So I need a way to get into my stand without spooking deer. So I've designated one route and only one route so I don't disturb a vast majority of the property. And I need a little bit of a screen. I did some hinge cuts to help screen, but in between the hinge cuts I'm going to plant these Norway spruce. When deciding what tree to plant, what type of conifer to plant, it came down to the white spruce and the Norway spruce, and I decided on the Norway spruce. One reason because the white spruce, the deer will actually eat it, and I don't necessarily want them to eat the conifers or be too close to them because it is going to be a screen. And I've decided on the Norway spruce because from what I've gathered information, the Norway spruce grows in a variety of different soil types, and it grows rather quickly, and it can tolerate some shade. Now, they'll get sun, but they're not going to get sun all day. So there's some partial shade throughout the day. But my whole goal is to create screening, and these things get pretty large, 40, 50 feet high, even bigger. So they'll be pretty big, and their width is pretty big from what I read, 20 feet or more wide. So if I plant these trees somewhere between 6 and 8 feet apart, they'll block off the area where the deer are bedding pretty well, and that's my goal. That's what I want to achieve. Also, I'm not going to plant them in a straight line. I want to make it look as natural as possible. So what I'll do is plant them 6 to 8 feet, and then I'll stagger the plantings so it does look a little more natural than as, a tree farm or something where they're planting in one row. And I think the deer and wildlife probably would fit into that type of thing a little bit better. I'm going to attempt to do 2 rows. I do have 50 of them here. And so if I did my math right, and to do it 6 feet apart, I can extend these out pretty good, and I only need an area to cover about 75 yards. So we'll see what it comes out like, and maybe I'll update this video with another video showing what the plantings look like. But what I did to establish an area to plant was I hinge cut several red maple trees. There's just an abundance of red maple, and so I thinned some out, and I hinged other ones, so it makes it difficult for the deer to get in there. I hinged them in such a way so they're crossing over, and the deer probably won't pass through it. And in between the hinge cuts, I'm going to actually plant the pine trees. So sort of like caging in the pine trees so that, deer won't get into them, and the bucks will rub them if they can get into them easily. So we'll see how this goes. I've planted some conifers before, some white pines, hemlock. I've got a hemlock back here that we've planted years and years ago. It's growing nicely, but I've never planted this many at once. So I'm curious to see how long it takes Norway spruce to start to grow. From what I read, several feet a year it's possible depending on the conditions. But keep this in mind if you need a good screen. Norway spruce can work out pretty well for you. I hope to have a good habitat day today, and good luck to you and all you do on your property and if you hunt public land. Take care.